Call it networking,
affiliate marketing,
direct selling,
referral marketing.
Call it whatever you want. It's already a $100 billion a year business.
I think if people could really grasp the power of the internet, they would drop everything they're doing right now today and learn as much about it as they could. There's 1.5 billion users on the internet right now.
Sitting here with, I guess I could call you a media icon. This is Wayne Allen Root. He's the lead presidential candidate for the Libertarian Party in 2012. He was the vice presidential candidate in 2008.
Correct.
And I have a couple questions I want to ask you about being an entrepreneur, specifically an online entrepreneur, here in 2009 and beyond. Before we do, why don't you give everybody who Wayne Allen Root is?
Yeah, you gave the political bio, you know, that a presidential candidate, vice presidential candidate, but in reality what I like to call myself is an entrepreneur extraordinaire, because what I am is someone who's tried every business in the world. I'm a guy who understands small business. I'm a politician who fights on behalf of small businessmen and entrepreneurs and the self-employed in this country, because those are the groups who pay all the taxes, create all the jobs, and pump all the money in the economy. But at its core, what I really am, if you ask me who to define myself, I'm an SOB, son of a butcher. I'm a small businessman. I'm a homeschool dad. We homeschool our 4 kids. And I am a citizen politician, just as the Founding Fathers intended. Politics will never be my whole life. I'm a guy who loves to be an entrepreneur and run businesses.
Excellent. Wayne, as you know, Carbon Copy Pro is the premier online education marketing system, mainly designed for folks who are looking to become entrepreneurs, work from home, take ownership of their own lives, but do it online because that's where everything's headed towards today. What do you say to somebody who's taking a look at our business model for the first time, not sure if they can do it, they take a look at the system, entrepreneurism, obviously, as you know today, it's going to be the difference maker for folks going forward?
Well, a couple things I'd say. First of all, you know what the economy's like. It's in shambles. And we have economic crisis, we have economic maelstrom, we have economic disaster, whatever word you want to use, Armageddon. And yet, in 1929, more millionaires were created in that period than any time. More great businesses were created because a once-in-a-lifetime crisis is very often, if not always, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the right people. And the right people are people that don't depend on big unions, big companies, big government. People who are, if it is to be, it's up to me, who want to fight for themselves. So I'm someone who believes this is the greatest moment for an entrepreneur, maybe in the history, but certainly in our lifetimes. What a great moment to be an entrepreneur. The second thing I'd say is that you probably don't even know. I've written 7 books. The first one was called The Joy of Failure. And it was about the fact that if you're an entrepreneur, you fail a lot. You know, it's not that easy. It's tough out there. But when you succeed, all you need is one to become a multimillionaire. I always joke in my seminars, you know, what do you call a guy who's run 7 restaurants, 6 of them into the ground and failed, and 1 of them succeeded? You call him a millionaire. You only need one. And yet Carbon Copy Pro gives you the answer to that. See, I wrote The Joy of Failure about all my failures, but you know what they were all due to? I was young, and I kept jumping from business to business with no one to teach me how to do it right the first time. I made all my mistakes. I lost a few $1 million. But you know what? I suddenly realized now when I see something like Carbon Copy Pro, I didn't have to fail all those times. I didn't have to lose millions of dollars. I needed someone to give me the model to show me how to do it right the first time. I wish you were around 25 years ago.
I don't wish I was around 25 years ago.
Thanks a lot.
We're big believers in systems. You're obviously a systems guy. Carbon Copy Pro is truly a system for entrepreneurs to get on the web, to get on the internet. We all know that the great majority of wealth is being created as a result of the internet.
Right.
That's what we teach. We're an educational platform. Talk about systems. Why is it so important for the new entrepreneur to have a system in place?
Well, if you don't, you wind up experiencing the joy of failure. I mean, it's a very important thing. If you want to lose millions and make all kinds of mistakes that you didn't have to make, then feel free to not use, you know, Carbon Copy Pro. But, you know, here's what's great about online entrepreneurship. What's fabulous about it. Number one, you get to work out of your house. There are people all over the world that are multimillionaires, some of them, you know, $100 million or more on Wall Street. They go to work every day. They get on a train. It's hot. It's sweaty. It's boring. You're away from your family. You work 12 hours a day. When you get home, your family doesn't even know you. Your kids are asleep already. I'm someone who believes very strongly in home entrepreneurship. And the internet allows you to create your own TV network. The computer can be turned into a TV screen. You can have your own TV show. You can have your own conference calls. But video conference calls. Everything happens online with a system like this. And that allows you to work around your wife and kids, or husband and kids and family. And that's so important. And I'm not just saying that, just so everybody out there knows, I am a home-based entrepreneur. I've got multiple businesses, and I enjoy all of it based out of my home office. That's what I do. I barely ever leave my house. And what that means is, instead of working 8 hours a day, I get to work 16 hours a day, but I do it all around my family and my 4 young kids. And so they all know me. They know Dad. You know, I may work all day long. I'm a workaholic, and yet I'm around my wife and kids. And the second benefit is, if you care at all about the environment, and we all know the environment's a huge issue for millions of people, maybe billions of people in this world. When you work at home, you're saving the environment. You're not getting in your car. There's no wear and tear on the roads. You're not using up gas or natural resources or energy. You are really doing the right thing for the world. So can you imagine, you're doing the right thing, you're raising your family the right way, you're an entrepreneur, and you're making a fortune without leaving your house. What more is there to say?
It's so much about lifestyle than anything. You know, and one of the things we didn't talk about, which we could talk about for a while here, I spent 10 years on Wall Street, now working from home, and with this business model, I'm able to triple my income and have that lifestyle that you mentioned. But what about the tax deductions?
Well,
being a home-based entrepreneur, it's incredible.
You made me think of something else. Tax deduction's great, but I think even beyond that, you know, I mentioned working at home, being around family, and being good to the environment. I didn't mention be your own boss. Forget about tax deductions. When you work on Wall Street or any normal place, you've got a boss telling you what to do. Right. And I don't know if any of you out there are like me, but I cringe when anybody tells me what to do. Thank God I've been married 18 years. I have a wife who never tells me what to do. She is the greatest. I love you, Deborah. And thank God, because I wouldn't have lasted 18 years with someone ordering me around. I just bristle when anyone orders me around. And when you run your own home-based internet business, you're your own boss. You know, and I always tell the story at all my speeches around the world. I base them all on my dad, David Root, who worked his whole life as a butcher, made basically minimum wage his whole life, and then one day saved up enough money to open his own butcher store. It wasn't much. It was a 2-man butcher store. He did not die rich, but I'll tell you what, he died wealthy. And the wealth for him was, he did everything he could for his family, and the last few years, those last 20 years he owned his own store, he put myself and my sister through Ivy League college with that little butcher store, Columbia University. And let me tell you something, my dad died a very proud man. I loved my dad, and it was all because he just strove his whole life to never have a boss, to be his own boss. He loved the last 20 years of his life. He didn't get rich, but he absolutely, positively never again had to listen to anyone else telling him what to do. And boy, do I understand what he felt.
What are your thoughts on surrounding yourself with the right people? We're big believers here at Carbon Copy Pro that in order to have a result, in order to achieve success, especially online, we're focusing online and on the system here, you need to follow somebody who's already had the success you're looking for, hence the name Carbon Copy Pro. Essentially, you're carbon copying the pros who've come before you online.
Listen, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my lifelong best friend. His name is Doug Miller, and he was my mentor. And, you know, all my life, I grew up the blue-collar son of a butcher, as I said, SOB, and I hung around with blue-collar kids, and today all of them are still blue-collar. I met Doug Miller, who was a Stanford MBA, and 20 years older than me, and he got a kick out of helping a young guy make it in life. And he became my mentor, and he changed my entire life. Matter of fact, we drew my goals out on a napkin in a Chinese restaurant on the lower west side of New York. And it changed my entire life, and those goals on a napkin all came true. And so I can't tell you how important it is to hang around the right people. If I hadn't met Doug Miller, I wouldn't be here today. You know, I was a blue-collar kid who went to the roughest high school, probably in the country, but certainly in New York. It didn't get any rougher. I mean, we had literally gun detectors at the door, and the principal walked around with a baseball bat. And the luckiest thing that ever happened to me, Andrew, in my whole life, was that I got in a fight with a kid. He tried to kill me. He had a machete. We were struggling on the floor. The knife was an inch from my face. And a principal came out and screamed, "Hey, you," and the kid dropped the knife and ran. And the principal told my parents that night, "You got to get your son out of school because that guy's a member of a gang, and they're going to get Wayne Root." So here I was, this blue-collar kid with 12 gold chains around his neck, and didn't know anything except being the son of a butcher. And my grandparents put together everything they had, and they put me in a private school for the last 2 years of high school. And I became friends with all these rich kids whose parents were millionaires and lawyers and doctors. Changed my entire life. From that moment on, I realized there was more to life because of the people I was hanging out with. So I tell this story all the time. The people you choose as your friends will make the entire difference in your life. And be very careful that your friends and relatives don't hold you back because they want you to remain right where you are stay in that station in life so you don't bypass them. Be very careful. Choose your friends wisely. Go out and find ones who understand success, who understand achievement, who understand entrepreneurship, who understand wealth, and who understand how to get you on the right path to get from where you are today to where you want to be. And I think that's Carbon Copy Pro.
And fortunately, you get to make that choice. We get to choose who we associate with. That's a good thing. Now, you're
Free
on
will.
Yeah, free will. You're on Fox News weekly at this point.
All the time,
You've been referenced on CNBC. You've been referenced
Savage Nation every week.
Savage Nation every
8
week.
million listeners every
and,
single
and
week.
if I miss anything, let me know. Wall Street Journal on a regular basis. You're really starting to become a household name.
CNBC, Equities Magazine, Fortune Magazine, profiled by almost every media in the country, Time Magazine, Newsweek, you name it.
And people probably approach you all the time to endorse their business model. You could endorse hundreds of business models if you'd like to, probably per week. You endorse Carbon Copy Pro. Why?
Well, again, you know, I'm the only politician in America who cares about small business people, who really understands their issues and their problems, who understands that 51% of all jobs in this country are created by small business, who understands that small business creates 75% of all new jobs in this country. And that's what we need, someone to understand the typical entrepreneur, self-employed, commissioned employee, small businessman, independent contractor, whatever word you want to understand. All of a sudden, this business, this model, this system, Carbon Copy Pro, comes along. And I say, here's a way, I'm politically trying to help people lift themselves up by their bootstraps. But this is the business entrepreneurship way to lift them up by their bootstraps. I think America needs Carbon Copy Pro. I think the world needs Carbon Copy Pro at a time where the economy's going down, jobs are being eliminated by, get this, millions per quarter, millions, which means you can't count on big government, big unions, big companies to save your life. You have to depend on you. If you're going to save your family, you've got to take a chance here. Take a risk, as I say. You've got to be a risk taker to be an entrepreneur. Right. But the sky's the limit, what you can earn. And what I saw in Carbon Copy Pro was an opportunity for people to grab the bull by the horns, run with it, change their life, change their station in life, and make their dreams come true. And that's what the American dream is all about. It's about entrepreneurship.
And Wayne, it's exactly why Carbon Copy Pro is seeing record growth. Even during times of a struggling economy, we're seeing a lot of
Not
businesses.
even during, maybe because of.
Maybe because of.
This is your option, and this is my passion. I love it, and I love entrepreneurship, and I want to educate people and teach them how to market and sell. You know, I'm someone who believes the ultimate credo in life is ABS, always be selling.
Right.
Because there is nothing else. If you want to be successful, you got to sell.
And the best part is we know that not everybody can be a salesperson. Fortunately, the system is put in place so that people don't have to be professional salespeople, because the system will do much of the selling and the back-end heavy lifting and the marketing for you.
But guess what? In that way, it teaches everyone to be a professional salesperson. So everyone can be one. You really can.
Totally.
With Carbon Copy Pro.
Wayne Allen Root, everybody, really appreciate you taking the time with us here today. Good luck in the 2012 election. I know I'm voting for you. Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye. God bless.
A business that you can do part-time or full-time and can be started at home with no large capital outlay, low overhead, no employees, and no special business expertise or technical skills. A business that allows you to work your hours for your goals.
A business that offers time freedom, financial freedom, and a franchise-like, step-by-step business plan. And according to most experts, a home-based business offers incredible tax advantages.
What are you waiting for?
Think e-commerce is going away?
Statistics show that 96% of adults ages 25 to 44 are looking to own their own business.
The only question is, are you ready?
Are you tired of being passed up for promotions, tired of commuting, tired of the rat race?
Are you ready to work your own hours? Take a vacation when you want to, not when they let you.
Drive the car you've always dreamed about, not the one you can afford.
Live where you want to live, not where your job puts you.
Retire in style, not on a shoestring.